Okay, so now that we've got this notion of fictional worlds with fictional truths that we can create with games of make believe, we can start to try and solve this weird paradox of fiction that we feel emotions like fear, anger, sadness towards things that we know full well just don't exist. So the first step is to see that works of art themselves, like paintings, movies, plays, novels, they can help generate fictional worlds. So, for example, the novel Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, it creates a bunch of fictional truths, like the fictional truth that Harry Potter is a wizard, or that the fictional truth that Dumbledore dies. Now, the cool thing that Walton points out now is that not only do works of art generate these fictional worlds, they can also be used as props to create our own interesting games of make believe and create even more fictional worlds. So you can use a piece of art like a painting the same way you use like a glob of mud to use as a prop in a game of make believe where we pretend that we're making pies with the mud. When you take a piece of art like the novel Harry Potter, you can use it like a prop to make believe that you yourself are sad about Dumbledore's death. So let's see how this will go around trying to solve the paradox of fiction. So, first note that when you've got an object like this doll here, or an artwork like a painting or a novel, that kind of thing, you can create multiple different games of make believe, and each of those games of make believe can create different fictional worlds. So, for example, when you've got a doll like this, that just kind of like automatically, since we've all grown up with this knowledge of dolls and how they work, it kind of generates this game of make believe that generates this fictional world with a bunch of fictional truths, like the fictional truth that, oh, there's a girl there. She's got brown hair and she's wearing purple shoes. Now, of course, all of those are only fictionally true. There's no girl there. It's a lump of plastic that looks like a girl. She doesn't have brown hair. First of all, she doesn't exist. And second of all, that ain't hair. It's like nylon or something. So those are all like fictional truths that create this fictional world out of this object, this doll. But then, so you've got that public game in its fictional world that everyone of us in the public can play. But if you're, say, like a kid, call them like Mason, they're playing with the doll, they might make their own personal private game with its own fictional world. So in this fictional world, it includes all of the fictional truths that we just talked about, and includes the fictional truth that there's a girl here with brown hair and who's wearing shoes. But it's also got these, special little personal details, like that the girl's name is Alexis and she's going to the first grade picnic tonight. And, she's best friends with Caroline, the giraffe. Those are all things that you and I are not going to be able to pick up on just by looking at the doll itself, the way we were with the public game. But those are definitely things that can be fictional truths within this private fictional world that the kid playing with the doll has created. So this process of creating multiple fictional worlds to go along with a doll can also be used to create multiple fictional worlds that go along with a piece of art. So think about a piece of art like the novel Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. There is this general public game in its fictional world that most of the people can engage with, that's got fictional truths like Harry Potter's a wizard, Dumbledore's his teacher, he's friends with Hermione. But if you're an individual reader of the novel, you can elaborate upon those and create your own personal fictional world, one in which you kind of flesh out details like, oh, Harry looks like Daniel Radcliffe. That's a fictional truth within your fictional world. Dumbledore is gay. That's a fictional truth in your fictional world. Or Hermione is black, etc. Those fictional truths might not be fictional truths in the public game, but they are fictional truths in the private game that you play with the Harry Potter novel. Now, here's where things get interesting, because you can use this ability to create private games to explain why it is we seem to have these emotional reactions to things that we know do